Audience. Alright. Ever seen Steph Curry play? He can captivate any basketball fan with just using the fundamentals of basketball. Basketball is fun to play and it's fun to watch. I've played basketball, watched basketball, and done research on basketball for over a decade. My favorite sport is easily basketball. Today I will discuss the fundamentals of basketball, the court layout and the player positions of basketball, and the rules and regulations of basketball. Starting with the fundamentals of basketball. Like I said before, Steph Curry can captivate an audience with just the fundamentals, unlike other players who need a flashy dunk or an alley-oop to do that. The most important thing about basketball is scoring. Obviously, it's how you get points on the board. That's how you win games. Scoring includes jump shots, free throws, layups, and floaters. Another important aspect of basketball is defense. Obviously, your defensive stance is super important. That's how you don't allow guys to get past you. Passing is a super important part of basketball. There's the chest pass, the bounce pass, and the overhead pass. Dribbling is another aspect of basketball that's super important. It's how you drive past people and get up and down the court easy. Some important dribble moves to know are crossover, between the legs, behind the back, and offhand dribbling is very important. Now I'm going to move on to court layout and player position. The court layout, important parts of the court are the baseline, the line right here. You have the lane, the wings, the elbows, the three-point arc, the half-court line, the sidelines, and the free throw line. Another important aspect of basketball is knowing the players' positions, such as the point guard, the shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and the center. Some point guards that people know are Magic Johnson and Steph Curry is one of them. Shooting guards, important shooting guards are Michael Jordan and a handful of people like Kobe Bryant. Small forwards are very important in the game. LeBron James and Kevin Durant are very important people. Power forwards to know are Tim Duncan and Moses Malone. Centers, my favorite center and probably one of the best centers ever is Bill Russell. Moving on to some basic rules in basketball. The offense is the team with the ball. They're the ones trying to score. Some stats that you get on offense are points, assists, rebounds, and turnovers. Turnovers are a negative stat. These happen with violations and offensive fouls. Defense is the other team, which is the team without the ball. They're trying to prevent the score. Stats on defense can be blocks, steals, and rebounds. A field goal is basically just a basket. These are worth 2 points if you're in front of the three-point arc, and they're worth 3 points if you're behind the three-point arc. Free throws are worth 1 point, and these occur after a foul. There are a handful of different types of fouls in the game. Fouls include personal fouls, which is just illegal physical contact. This can occur on offense or defense. This includes pushing, holding, shooting fouls, and reaching fouls. Another type of foul is the flagrant foul. This is violent, unnecessary contact. There are two different types of flagrant fouls. The flagrant one is, it depends on what the ref wants to determine it, but a flagrant one is you get free throws and the possession of the ball. And a flagrant two, the player that caused the foul gets ejected, and the other team gets free throws and the possession. Another type of foul is a technical foul. This can happen. This can be put on players or even coaches. Technical fouls include foul language, taunting, and arguing with the refs. Let's move on to some violations. Most called violations, or uncalled depending on who you ask, are travels. I have an example of a travel right here. So that's an example of a travel. I have one more here, and a travel is essentially just moving without dribbling. As you can see, he was picking up his feet, wasn't dribbling the ball at all. The exception to traveling is when you're driving to the basket, you are allowed 3 steps in the NBA. So here's that other example. This is an example of a travel that was not called. Clearly, he took a few more than 3 steps there. Another important violation to know is a double dribble. This is when you pick up the ball and then dribble again, or it's when you dribble with both hands.
I've heard him compared to a lot of people so far this season. Haven't heard him compared to Abe just yet. I have now. Here's Johnson. Head fake on Hickson.
That's double dribble.
Terry Stotts is saying, what in the heck?
Yeah, they missed it completely. 3 refs out there. It's double dribble.
Here's what the Trailblazer coaching staff was
Now there's the first dribble. Now there's the second dribble. How do you miss that? I mean, he dribbled. He got double dribble.
Alright, some other important violations to know are the goaltend, which is when a defensive player interferes with the shot when the ball is going down toward the basket. In this case, the basket does count whether it goes in or not. Another violation is offensive interference. This is kind of the opposite of goaltending. It's when the offense interferes with the basket when the ball is above the rim. Other violations include backcourt violation or shot clock violation. In conclusion, today I've discussed the fundamentals of basketball, court layout and player position, and rules and regulations of basketball. Basketball is awesome and is definitely my favorite sport. I hope that now that you know some of the rules, regulations, and fundamentals that you too can become a great player or a great fan too.